It must be a day that ends in Y because yet again another white woman on the internet has a bad opinion. So for those of you who don't know, Republicans absolutely hate any sort of entertainment that isn't black and white and basically didn't come from 1940s America. Now, that basically excludes, most of modern society. They somewhat accept comic books because maybe one of them secretly hid a comic book underneath their mattress instead of a Playboy because, they wanted to be secretly a nerd. But now today, no, ladies and gentlemen, entertainment is not allowed to be had. So what I'm talking about is Liz Wheeler. Apparently she seems to be some sort of Republican or conservative talk show host. I have no idea. I've never seen her before other than today, but obviously she wants to dye her roots blonde and fit the stereotype, which I think she's actually, with that dyed hair of hers, giving blonde women a bad name with this one. But anyway, she says in a tweet here, and I quote, "This is 100% true. Men playing video games is peak unattractive, beyond red flag. Like deal breaker zone. It's weird that so many dudes don't get this." Well, Liz Wheeler, I wish you would have told my wife that 14 years ago before we met. That would have been very helpful for her. However, on that list, there are so many different things, and apparently bird watching is more attractive to women than actual, dudes just chilling and relaxing. And then she then goes on to say that everybody's wrong. She didn't mean for it to go viral. It was just a joke, but it's totally true. It's not just a joke. She knew exactly what she was doing. She obviously has a following. She knows how to play the Twitter game. So she then goes on to say that she's going to call out everybody at noon on her talk show because men playing video games is unattractive and why don't men get this and so on and so forth. Well, let me break this down for you. I know a lot of men that at the end of a hard day's worth of work, they used to come home and they would watch The Simpsons, or after a hard day's worth of work, they would go outside to their wood shop, work on their cars. They would go and do the things that they enjoyed to just relax at the end of the day. But for some reason, we draw the line at video games. It's not the fact that there are men out there who will dedicate all of their time, energy, and effort more than their wives and children and go out hunting, and they get so enveloped in that it actually causes marital issues, which I've actually seen in my personal life. No, video games are the problem. You see, here's one of the cruxes of the situation, is that Liz Wheeler obviously doesn't seem to understand that when it comes to relaxation or time away or time to just rest, because, we're the men of the house and we're actually making the money in the house and we're actually trying to support our families, sometimes we just want to relax and sometimes we just want to take our feet and put them up. And we want to do that whether we're watching football, not my jam, whether we're listening to music, that is my jam, or we play video games. Absolutely love doing that once in a while. Now, Liz Wheeler, I guarantee, is the type of person that has basically said, hey, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, be the individual. We need to stop with all of the progressive ideals of, the people coming together as one because we're all individuals and we all need to work for it. And yet she classifies an entire group of people who play video games. I play video games once in a while myself. You know what else I do? I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I go to work all day for about 10 hours a day. I then come home. I spend time with my wife and children. I produce videos for YouTube as well. I also, build a shed, built a barbecue pit because, if energy prices get too much more expensive, I'm going to need something to cook on. My wife wanted me to dig a fire pit for her, so I also dug that as well. She would like me to keep up, the outbuildings for the animals that we have, so I go and I work on those. And sometimes I just like to sit down and play a video game to relax. But apparently, after taking care of my wife and children, providing for the family, and doing all of these things, I need to let my wife know, who plays video games more than I do because she homeschools 4 kids, makes dinner every single day, takes care of the garden that we have, takes care of all of the animals that we have, rushes all of the kids to all of their appointments while I'm at work, and then makes sure that my needs are met as her husband every single night. And sometimes she just wants to, take a load off and play some video games and do some PvP and get an absolutely awesome KD. I need to let her know that me playing video games is just absolutely unattractive and she should divorce me post-haste and stop basically our entire family dynamic. You see, the problem with Liz Wheeler's argument here and it being unattractive is she doesn't actually do the intelligent thing, which she dyes her hair, so she wants to be a fake blonde, so she wants to be unintelligent here. But she wants to do the unintelligent argument of saying that anybody who does this thing must be this way. Now that sounds very anti-individualist, and that is absolutely not what I know my side of the aisle stands for, which is the libertarian side of the aisle. But let's walk down this. Men who do nothing but play video games and use it as escapism to get away from life, absolutely, they're in the wrong. They should never do that. Life is here to live. We should live it to our fullest abilities. We should stop having negative thoughts every single morning we get out of bed. Just a little pro tip, that's something that helped me with my life. And we should make sure that we make the most out of every single day. Video games like football, or like watching NASCAR, or like going outside and grilling is just simply a pastime that you can use as a man who provides for your house. There are boys out there, there are men out there, or I guess technically they would be legally considered men, who go out there and they do use this. Well, they also have mental disabilities. Those mental disabilities are usually depression, usually self-defeating attitudes, usually the I blame everybody for my situation type attitudes, instead of blaming the video games and saying that video games are the unattractive part. Why don't you actually point out the actual things that are unattractive, such as the self-defeatist attitude, the lack of motivation, all of those things. You see, it's funny, I saw this tweet too, where the woman said that men who play video games avoid all of these things. You know, some of the most hardworking men I've ever known in my life, the guys who taught me how to work in the pipeline industry to make sure that Liz Wheeler could have the lights on in her house while she makes this dumbass video of hers. Yeah, guys like that who make sure that she has a place that she can do all this in, who probably built the studio that she's in, probably make sure that the power grid works that she's on, and probably make sure that her air conditioning works. Yeah, those guys go home and at the end of the day, they play video games. So, I just want to point this out. It was another white woman. It was another dumb opinion. And to be perfectly honest, these people here, these Republican shills, they're never going to win the culture war because they don't know what culture is to begin with. And they have no idea what any of this means. So for Liz Wheeler, if for some reason this comes across your desk in your video where you're going to own us, please, out of the list of things that I said that my wife and I do every day, I would love the list of things that you do every single day. I would love to know exactly the list of things that you do that make you valuable. And then I want to know what the things that you do when you relax. Because here's the thing, I guarantee whatever you do to relax is just as lazy as somebody relaxing to play a video game. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who tuned in, thank you so much for tuning into my TED Talk. And honestly, these are the type of women that you don't listen to outside of just the normal women. But yeah, wannabe blondes on the internet? Sorry. You should really stop trying to make blondes look bad and, take care of your roots, I guess. So, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, cheers, everybody.